They basically imply that she died, but they don't really
It's the Full
delve
House
into it yet.
thing where the brother moves in after.
And then he's working at a gas
Yeah,
station.
originally, actually. Did you hear this? You know about this? Fuck, what's his name? I can't even think of his name now.
Dave Coulier?
Yeah, I was going to say Dave Coulier was cast instead of Mel Gibson.
Really?
Did you know this? Seen this?
Is that true?
Heard about this? No.
No, they should have cast him.
I made it up.
Fake news cycle.
Movies on video cassette.
Welcome to Strange Glow Video.
Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish.
We're oozing with VHS, horror, nostalgia, and more.
New Better Block Glow in the Dark.
After it drops some videotape, you can get a glow-in-the-dark hand puppet from the movie Casper.
And now, your hosts, Alec, Justin, and Nick.
Hey, you're not allowed to rent here anymore.
Hello, welcome to Strange Glow Video. Tonight, today, tomorrow, wherever you are is wherever we are. We're with you. It could be the future. It could be the past.
Well, it's going to be the future because this isn't live.
It's going to be the present for them. But it's the past for them, for us.
It's not true.
So tonight we're going to talk about an amazing film.
Oh, yeah?
An amazing film.
Signs,
Signs.
starring David Duchovny.
Exactly.
And River Phoenix.
Oh.
The ghost of River Phoenix.
We're recording this live from the Viper Room.
It's Joachim Phoenix.
If you don't know, that's where he died.
Yes.
Outside of it, anyway.
Live from the Viper Room. We're conjuring his ghost.
Well, that struck a nerve.
That was his brother. His brother, Joaquin Phoenix.
It's pronounced
Yeah.
Joachim.
And, of course, Mel Gibson.
So, you guys, you seen all these UFOs being shot down? You seen this? You heard about this?
Yeah, there's UFOs all over the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, it's Chinese spy balloon was one of them. There's other things they have no idea what they were. We even shot down something for the Canadians. So we shot down something for America's hat.
Yeah. I've been, there's something in me that's leaving glasses of water all around and shit, too. I don't know what's up with that.
There's lots of dust in the air.
I think that has to do with these balloons fucking with me.
Well, that's why we got our hats on tonight, because it actually prevents the aliens or the Chinese from reading our minds.
China.
The Chinese virus.
Was this tinfoil made in China?
Good question. It still blocks them.
Is it Walmart brand?
Yes.
Oh, it's probably made in Arkansas then.
Yeah, out of Arkansonians.
So, while we're here to talk about signs, I do have a couple things I picked up this week before I, was boarding up the windows and everything.
Yeah.
Got a couple VHS tapes.
You ever hit a home run? I heard you swung at everything, regardless of whether or not you hit it.
Yeah, sometimes.
Bloom of Doom. That sounds kind of hot. Look at those. I'd like to see her flower. Petals.
Look at the bulge on the Yellow Ranger, man.
Well, it's because in
I know.
version.
I know.
That's the thing. People trained us. You didn't know that you were groomed by Power Rangers to
Like Asian ladyboys?
Yes. Yeah, Power Rangers groomed you for that. Kimberly's the only one that had a skirt on her outfit.
Look at the flower monster, too. Oh, yeah. That's the pussy monster.
I know. That's what I was talking about to begin with. That's awesome.
We're talking about these Power Rangers tapes I picked up at one of the local thrift stores for $1 each. I got 3 of them, so pretty cool. Got 3 different covers. There's one there with the Black Ranger, Zach, and obviously Kimberly on that one.
Why do you got to point out that he's black?
Because he's the Black Ranger, just like Tommy's the White Power Ranger.
You're going to point out that.
Yeah. You always have to say it that way because that's what. That's why he's popular in the South.
They made the Asian girl the Yellow Ranger.
He wasn't really popular as the Green Ranger, but when he became the White Power Ranger,
We had at least 1 or 2 tapes growing up of these, but not these specific ones, I don't think.
No, I had so they had an original series they released of those. So I had A Day at the Dumpster I got for my birthday, in like 4th grade or something like
Yeah.
that.
A Day at the Dumpster.
That was the pilot, season 1, episode 1.
Was that like when they were a baby? They spent a day at the dumpster?
I got a copy
no.
of Nick's favorite movie. He has a tattoo of a quote from this movie, Scream 2 on VHS.
What quote? Is that movie quotable?
Yeah, the line you just have
Top Gun,
exactly
1986.
trilogies. Something about trilogies. Well, that's the third one, I guess.
Yeah.
I also found a copy sealed of the original Scream with the Nev Campbell cover, which is a pretty decent thing. That it's like $60-$70 on eBay. You know, people go after that shit. I found 2 of these Weird Al music videotapes, and one of them I promised to Jacob Walsh from Yes Have Some because it's the Jurassic Park cover.
Oh, nice.
But I was like, yeah, I'm keeping this one, obviously.
Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise, Gump, Headline News, and Money for Nothing / Beverly Hills. Which I remember Gump and Amish Paradise, but not the other ones. But Weird Al tape, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's about it this week.
Well, I haven't gotten anything too crazy. I've gotten some arts and craft supplies, and I got us a new solid-state hard drive for the podcast, which isn't super exciting for those of you out there, but someone in YHS Group Therapy mentioned that they were part of the Draw Slimer contest, and this is the issue that they were in. And I thought I had a copy of this already. I didn't. And so I went and found one, and for the same price as all the other ones going on there, I found a sealed copy that even has the 3D glasses in the back of the bag still. So, I mean, like, who doesn't want real Ghostbusters 3D glasses? I mean, this is awesome. So, that's what I got. Nick, did you get anything this week, or are you still just...
I got Birdo.
Oh, yeah, Birdo from Mario. He left it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
I mean, that's a crime. You can't leave children in the car.
Birdo.
Yeah, you can't get...
Just don't go violating it.
Yeah, Birdo's mouth is very suggestive.
Why didn't they put Birdo in Super Mario World with all the other dinosaurs?
Good question, Wigwada.
When did you first see Signs?
See, this came out in, what, 2002?
Mm-hmm.
Probably when it hit home video.
That's
I
when I first saw it.
I didn't see this in theaters. This is a home video watch.
Some
for
of
me
us
as well.
watched it at home one night.
I wonder who I did watch it with, because I'd have been
pretty terrified of it.
I'd have been about
As a
20 when this hit home
11-year-old.
video, so I don't know.
They do a good job of fucking the hype on there.
Yeah.
Actually, the cast in this is
Yeah,
amazing.
there's-
Rory Culkin's the other kid in there, and then what's her name? She's in Little Miss Sunshine. And
Rory
Zombie
Culkin,
World.
who would later go on to be one of the killers in Scream 4.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, who, you know, everybody knows him. Abigail Bresnan, as you mentioned, from Zombieland and a bunch of other shit now.
Little Miss Sunshine, I think, was one of her huge.
Yeah,
early
that's
roles.
a great movie, too. I like the title sequence for this. Just because when that music hits, it's great. I love it. They were clearly going for a certain Psycho / Jaws / certain vibe, and they got it. I think it worked.
Yeah.
And
Was this his first movie? Was M. Night Shyamalan's? Is this his first movie after Sixth Sense?
I think so. Wait, Unbreakable? Was that 2000?
It may have been. I don't remember. off
Shit,
the
I
top
don't
of my head.
remember. That might even be... I think that's in between them, but I'm not 100% on that. Sixth Sense is 99.
Unbreakable's 2000.
Okay.
Is that right?
Pretty good films, though.
Sixth
It's a good
Sense was
film.
99.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay, so he had back-to-back hits and then
three
a little bit.
three pretty big movies. Well, I think The Village was
04.
popular, but people hated the ending. Or
I like The Village, okay.
I remember watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
Lady in the Water, not so much, but...
They really...
I still haven't watched that.
I watched it when I was like 14 or 15, so
Doesn't
I
it-
was not into weird shit, so
Doesn't it have Giamatti in it?
I don't remember. I saw it once in
Paul
theaters.
Giamatti or whatever.
Have to give it another watch sometime.
Yeah, I like him at least. So.
He's a talented filmmaker, though. He's done some good stuff, and
Originally, Mark Ruffalo was cast as instead of Joaquin Phoenix, and he was replaced last minute because he had to get some surgery or something. Like a week before Joaquin Phoenix picked up the role.
oh shit.
A week before shooting.
He was exposed to those omega radiation. What is it? The whole
Gamma radiation.
gamma radiation. There you go.
Yeah.
Huh. No, I think Joaquin really started his career, really started picking up after this. This kind of opened the door for a lot of roles for him.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever saw him in anything.
Because it wasn't long after this that he did the Walk the Line. I think that was 2005.
Yeah, it's 05.
So he's good in this, too.
He's a good actor. I like him. Mm-hmm. He has some weird, funny shit in this to say. So yeah, Mel Gibson. I hope you get by a pack of
Yeah, that's
Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, we can't cuss this week.
What he says.
No cursing.
No, we're not.
Well, you can't say the R word or the N word on this podcast, regardless of what week it is, Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know, but it reminded me that we can't cuss at all.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck. Have we yet? Damn it. No.
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 Damn
Yes.
It. Damn it doesn't count anyway.
You just can't say the C word. Ever, though. Like on YouTube, it's a thing. It doesn't like it.
Clowns.
Don't they say that all the time in like
Old videos,
England?
it doesn't get like 10-year-old videos. They're not like going back and demonetizing those, but like new stuff. I don't know. It's weird. But either way, crop circles, right? Am I right? The crop circles.
This is relevant because in the mid '90s, with the X-Files being like so popular back then, I remember watching a show about how they made crop circles on one of those like chasing aliens.
Yeah, with
type
ropes
shows.
and boards, and they mentioned that in this too.
Yeah, and I
like
love
that.
how they bring the real life aspect to it. She's like, yeah, someone like could do this with ropes and boards in a couple hours. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
That's what people. I think they found that's what the real crop circles were done.
Yeah, no, I think they.
And when you're watching this, you're like, oh, this is what it's referring to when it says signs. Because, signs is on the poster and it's cornfield. So you're thinking that's what it's mainly referring to, which it is. It's referring, it's kind of it's a whole thing, but we'll get to that stuff when it starts popping up. But Houdini pees himself, and there's where you get the first hint about the vet, because he's like, doesn't want to call the vet. He's like, I'll call doctor, whatever. And they're like, that's a fucking regular doctor. That's not the vet. And it's because the vet viciously murdered his wife.
Yeah.
On purpose. As we'll come to learn.
Yes. Intentionally.
We get Bo talking about the contaminated water.
Mm-hmm. And she starts leaving these glasses around.
You gotta wonder, is all this gonna pay off sometime?
All the foreskin shadowing in this movie is pretty much amazing. They do it the entire film.
No, sir. Our job's just to move these, make sure there's plenty of watermelons at all times, whatever that's. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You get it.
That. We know what you mean. Burn.
And Bo's watching Dexter's Lab. Well, actually, that's the next morning. Then you have him putting his kids to sleep, and he sees an alien on the roof. At this point, he doesn't think it's an alien, but we, the audience,
they think
know it's an alien.
Neighbors or whatever.
Lionel Pritchard, who we'll meet later, who was in Wet Hot American Summer.
It's so funny how people were just in such random stuff early around this time.
So he gets fucking his brother, and they are like, we're gonna go give him an ass whooping. And they run outside and do their thing, and as a child, I thought this was funny because you can tell that Mel Gibson's full of shit. And I'm insane with anger.
Yeah.
It's time for an ass whooping.
We know he can get.
Well, he tells
angry.
me, he's like, you got to swear at him. You got to swear.
Yeah, but now you're like, come on.
You were holding back during this film.
Someone needs to play his voicemail over this scene.
Oh my god,
shit! That's the director's cut right there.
I'm insane with anger. Jesus. And then she's watching Dexter's Lab, and it's a good episode too, actually.
Of course.
And as you're noticing, there's water all around, and she's saying like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, she said like this one tastes like dust and something else.
You've had these peanut butter Santas this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Nick's always over here rummaging around for food and drink and snack, and then he can't focus because if he's not talking, he cannot focus.
I got a 30-year-old Jolt Cola.
Yeah, you want a
How many
30-year-old
years
Jolt?
old is these Santas?
They're from last year.
As in this previous Christmas season.
I would have eaten them, but they weren't very good. Like, you'll see the peanut butter to chocolate amount is not
Yeah,
great.
these are not. These are the worst.
He's eating Black Santa. No, I mean like not the chocolate, the design, isn't it?
Cover, yes. That is controversial. I'm surprised more Republicans didn't get upset about that.
Goddamn Reese's, I'll never buy your products again. Black Santa. It was very dark.
I wish I had some Starry to wash it down.
Yeah, the whole it was dark thing.
I like that bit.
Then they're fucking pissed at the sheriff because it took her so fucking long.
Oh, yeah, and she's talking about the old lady, spitting on the skateboards. And all I can think of is that scene in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, when he comes out covered in snot.
Yeah, out of the hut. Yeah, brutal.
It's fucking gross.
It's the same show on every station, he says, and they go and they watch. It's an India crop circle, and that's where you get one of the lines, either this is one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever created, or basically, it's real.
Which is great. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I love that.
Right.
But it just shows you how ignorant the fucking news media is, and, you know, by then you're already in the 24-hour news media cycle.
Yeah, this shit's just fun, like, fun alien stuff to watch, you know? It's very Close Encounters. It's very taking from every good alien movie that's existed before it, and doing something new, too.
Well, and they, for as low budget as this was, right, you look, there's, like, not very many big, expensive shots in this film. It all takes place in this little
CGI
farmhouse, and
aliens
it
here and
works.
there.
And there's like 11 seconds of the alien in this movie. Or
A lot
some
of
shit.
it's like a reflection of them.
Yeah.
In the TV and...
Yeah, exactly.
So he tries to distract him, takes him into town to get pizza. The kid wants book money, gives him book money, goes next door.
Nudie.
12!
Nudie.
I have
movies.
seen 12 soda commercials.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell soda.
Uh-huh.
Don't give me that soda. Ba-da-ba-da.
Is that a Shasta Cola ad?
Yeah, I'm going to
yeah.
insert Shasta Cola ad here.
Don't give me that soda, the same old cola. I wanna pop, I wanna Shasta, I wanna taste pizzazz, all the great taste Shasta has. I wanna pop, I wanna Shasta, I wanna thrill, I wanna wild, taste it all, I wanna know. I wanna pop, I wanna Shasta.
Did they even really have Shasta Cola ads, or is that something
That's
they
an
just-
80s ad from it, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Do they still sell Shasta at Walmart or something?
Yeah, I thought one of you was going to try to get some.
Yeah, I forgot today. I went.
Damn.
Where do you find that?
went
I
to
thought
Target
grocery
instead.
stores carried
You could
that.
find it at some weird like Dollar General or something like that, I'm sure.
Okay, because
Walmart had it listed on their website.
okay, well they still have like their Sam's Choice Cola.
Yeah, that's
though,
what I figured
lots of
they'd have
times
that.
instead.
I thought I remember getting Shasta at Kroger when I was a kid, but
It was,
be.
I've seen it at a bunch of different places.
they have their big.
You remember
case
the
of-
Rocky Top Cola they had at Dillon's or Kroger? Would have been the same thing, same
Maybe.
parent company.
back in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, back in the 80s, they had like fruit flavored. I remember like grape, Rocky Top Cola grape. It was really good stuff.
Maybe.
Well, I was trying to find the actual ad from the from the movie, but I couldn't find that specific one. But I found one with the same exact audio, so
okay.
I will
And we'll
insert
play
that
it now.
I actually already played it
Oh,
like a minute ago, and then you interrupted me.
that was good. That was a good.
It
commercial.
was, well, one of you did. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but either way. And then you see he's over in the recruitment office. You get that whole bit about
That fucking recruiter's fucking
That
nuts.
recruiter's awesome though because he reminds me of like
why
the
aren't you in the major leagues? Getting your toes licked by beautiful women.
He seems like a fucking Lynchian character, right? He just seems like something straight out of Twin Peaks, and I love his character for that reason.
Yeah, because he's just very specific and weird.
Yes, he's odd, eccentric,
I've got
and like, to the point.
I've got it figured.
And then his buddy that's enlisting,
Lionel
is,
Pritchard, the one who they thought was
Oh,
running around
yeah.
on the roof and shit.
Yeah, this idiot, I guess, went to school with him and was talking shit. He's like, "Yeah, you strike out." He's like, "It was hard
He's
for
got
me
the
not to
strikeout
swing."
record. Yeah.
I don't know what I like better. The soda, like out of these three interactions that they're all having in the town, I don't know if I like the soda reference better or the girl being like, "I said shit like 400 times." And
With him,
bastard.
Yeah.
Oh,
And what about douchebag? Is douchebag a swear word? He's like, "Oh, it depends on the context."
How about John, you're a douchebag for kissing Brenda or whatever she says.
It's like, so then it's 75, not 37.
Yeah.
And then when they get back in the car, he's like, "No one is to ever be around her alone."
And then they see M. Night Shyamalan and it's his role as the vet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a great cameo of him in there as his character.
He likes to appear in his movies. A lot of his directors do. I kind of like it. It's fun. He does a good job. So you're still kind of wondering, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't, from a filmmaking storytelling perspective, you don't know what's happening. You don't know why. You're kind of curious. You're like, okay, well, Mom's clearly not in the picture here at this point. I can't recall if they've referenced her being actually dead yet or not, but
No, that
Maybe implied.
probably lightly at this point. But
no, because they basically say it was nice of you to move in.
oh yeah, she had that after what happened. So you're kind of
They basically imply that she died, but they
It's
don't really
the Full
delve into
House
it yet.
thing where the brother
Yeah.
moves in after.
And then he's working at a gas
yeah.
station.
Originally, actually, did you hear this? You know about this? Fuck, what's his name? I can't even think of his name now.
Dave Coulier?
Yeah, I was gonna say Dave Coulier was cast instead of Mel Gibson.
Really?
Did you know this? Seen this?
Is that true?
Heard about this? No.
No, they should have cast him.
I made it up.
Fake news cycle.
Then we have the baby monitor scene. That's pretty fun. You get some spooky sounds on there. This creeped me out as a kid.
Spooky.
Well, I love how they set it up because he's so fascinated with her radio when she's visiting the house and doing all the reporting. And she's like, oh, yeah, if you got a old baby monitor from your sister, you can use that as a walkie-talkie one way, but it'll still work.
Yeah, so that scene's cool. They get up on the roof and eventually they hear the predator clicking noises. Come on, kill me! I'm here! Get to the chopper!
That is a Predator movie we haven't seen. One that just takes place in rural America. Like, we've seen one
With
in the
rednecks.
city. We've seen it in
Rednecks
there,
versus
yeah.
Predator.
Oh, my God. I'd pay to see that. Make it happen, please.
Oh, I like it. Mel Gibson goes out there to feed the dog, and the dog's barking at the corn like, "Nuh-uh, dude, something's fucking out there." And he's like, "Isabel, you're gonna be feel very silly when all this turns out to be a make-believe." Like, he's comforting himself by telling this to the dog, because obviously the dog is just like telling him there's something there. That's a funny scene to me.
Well, I love how Joaquin's telling him, the kid, he's like, man, that's just nerdy stuff, man. You're falling into the nerd stuff. And then,
Yeah.
And then
Old nerds were doing it 30 years ago, and new nerds are doing it now.
And
Why can't they get girlfriends? That's what Bo's saying. Like, that's
Yeah.
her takeaway.
but it's brilliant because when you see him on the couch, like, you see his changed mindset, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, he goes in there, he's like, all right, let's turn on the TV after he's experienced some shit.
for sure.
And he's like, the kids fall asleep, and he's like, you think this could be the end of the world? And he's like, yes. And he's just like horrified. He's
Yeah,
like, is that not the answer
fucking-
you were looking for?
Yeah.
And then you have this conversation. I always really like this scene, even though it's, you know how it pays off. Mm-hmm. I can admire this for its storytelling aspects, and still think that Catholicism and Christianity is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But storytelling-wise, this is a fun talk. They're talking about the two groups. The first group experiences luck, and they think it's coincidence, a sign that, a miracle. And the other group thinks it's pure luck. And they're suspicious, basically. And they see these lights as 50-50, good or bad. And the other people see them as a miracle. And he's like, and you have to ask yourself,
Do you feel lucky?
I was waiting for it. Which kind of person you are. He's like, tells him that story about the vomiting and putting the gum in the cup, which I always think that story is a little too cheesy,
Yeah.
but whatever, it's fine. We're look at the question this way: is it possible that there are no coincidences?
Yeah, from the storytelling standpoint, that's great. I mean, they really get the point across and kind of make you wonder, okay, like, this seems pretty well thought out.
But I like it when he gets to, which type are you? And he's saying, do you feel comforted? Yeah. Then what does it matter? And then he goes on to tell him, I never told you Colleen's last words. And then he proceeds to say, there's no one watching out for us. We are all alone. And then you get the first flash to him arriving at the accident.
Yep.
That's the music that's playing in Scary Movie 3. When he arrives,
Funny fucking pulls
he's going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He's like not even aware he's pulling up to the accident. It's
She's all pinned on the,
She broke her wiener.
exactly.
pinned against the tree over there. She went out for a jog or a walk or whatever, and then the old...
Well, yeah, at this point, he just says, like, how bad is it? And then they kind of, like, cut away. Like, it's very quick on the first time.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of the next morning, 11 a.m., and all the lights that were in the sky are gone. He's like, but they're still there. Schools are closed. They keep showing this footage of a bird flying across the sky and stopping midair and falling to the ground.
I just think Independence Day when I hear them talking about that, like the shields being up.
It's so cool.
They have their cloaking devices on.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they're talking about the crop circle map theory.
Yeah, is using his map.
Then he goes and finds them wearing tinfoil hats. What a bunch of stupid motherfuckers, am I right?
Who would wear a tinfoil hat? Don't want any aliens listening in. They have to watch it on YouTube like the rest of you.
Basically. Dr. Bimbu. Dad, you had a tone. And then you get that thing where they're like looking in the book, you know, and they see their house or whatever, but it looks like our house. And there's 2 children and an adult body. And you're just like, okay. A little bit cheesy, but I get it. Still fun. And then apparently Reddy called him and left a weird voice message, like it wasn't actually there or whatever. So he goes and he's like, all right, I gotta go find out what Ray's. I guess that's
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, something really weird. So he ventures over there and finds him about ready to skedaddle out of town.
Yeah, and he takes this time to finally apologize to him, basically, because he was like, yeah, I just fell asleep. I was working late. Had to be at that right moment. And then that's where the movie's toying with the idea that it was meant to be that she died, basically.
Yes, they start flirting with that and letting you know, like, hey, this is where this might be wanting to go for you.
So,
is that when we get the full flashback, or is that down in the basement later?
It's not there yet, you know.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, so he goes inside the house, and after he
see, there's 2 more flashbacks. We don't get the full one.
That's when they're in the basement. Like,
no, that's the middle one.
Oh,
there's still more to go is when they're up in the living room. As soon as you see the alien holding the kid, it cuts away again. That's when you see the don't open the pantry, father, in that whole scene.
Yeah, don't open the pantry.
He cuts the fingers off of the motherfucker, that was the most terrifying scene as a child. More terrifying than the Bigfoot alien scene.
The birthday party.
Well, I love that scene because
that was
the
fun.
payoff for that scene later on makes the ending that much scarier because you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. So he goes in there, yeah, he's seeing this thing, can't really see it, and then at the same time over at the house, right, isn't that when they're starting to realize that the things can, like, cloak their skins and, like, blend in? Because he keeps watching that scene. He keeps watching that scene over and over where the, it sounds like they're speaking Spanish. And
at the birthday party, yeah.
Yeah, you see them at the birthday party, and then you see like the alien step out from a tree, and it's like green, and then kind of changes color to blend, which I think is actually pretty effective.
Mm-hmm.
They have the dinner scene, which is interesting. They decide to make a bunch of different food, and then they have a family crying moment.
The Mel Gibson comes out.
Exactly. Stop crying! I hope you get by a pack of. He says
That's actually
kids.
That's some of his best acting in the entire film, I think. Like, when he's sitting there, like, he genuinely looks interested in the food because he's talking about food, and he's like, oh, yeah, and all this, and what do you want? I love how they basically just assume they're all going to die that night, so, like, here's your last supper, and, like, everyone's going to make what they want, and... Yeah, that's a good scene. I think that really tells the story, like, he's given up all faith at that point, which...
They start telling the birth stories for comfort once the aliens start breaking in after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they go down to the basement, and you get another flashback.
Yeah, because they realize they didn't fucking board up the attic entryway.
He's like, you ruined your mom's vagina.
Basically.
That's what he told him.
I couldn't even fucking... It was like throwing a hot dog down a hallway after that, son. You're worthless to me.
You just ruined her.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do now? I just shove the whole fleshlight in there and fuck that.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just being rude and obnoxious on purpose. Don't mind me. I know vaginas. They're elastic, motherfucker.
What's that?
They are very. They know what they're doing.
What's that joke that Funkhauser tells on the
You can't have permanent damage, of course, but you know.
What was the joke Funkhauser told on the Seinfeld set?
Oh God, I don't know. I hate that season.
They bought some kind of meat and put in there.
Oh God.
I can't say the word he says, I guess. By the way, your C word's in the sink.
Jesus.
Wow. All right.
Then they forgot Isabel outside, and the dog gets killed.
Yeah, that does
The
suck.
other dog, anyway. We
Well,
didn't
yeah,
talk about the other dog. We skipped over it.
Yeah,
'cause it's
stabs it with a
rude.
one of those barbecue fork things.
Fucking brutal. Then the radio's back, and they get out of the basement after you get the whole basement scene, which the basement scene is fun and interesting, and it's more telling and more about him and his relationship with God again and his faith, and don't take my son from me, because when I was a kid, I didn't understand that he was talking to God when he's like, I hate you.
He said, "Give me back my son.
I want my family back.
Yeah, he's really going through some shit right there. And then that almost has like Night of the Living Dead vibes, right? When they're all boarded up in the house like that. This really pulls from a lot of different things, and I think it makes it interesting. And then they're like, "Oh, we feel a breeze," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we used to use basically it was a coal-fired furnace, so they
That
used to
comes
have a
from
coal
War of
chute."
the Worlds.
Yep.
And then you see the kid almost get grabbed by him. That's when the lights get turned out and some more fuckery happens. And overall, they end up fine out of the basement. They get out of the basement in the morning. But I like how they listen to the baby monitor. Like,
Yeah.
we got to be sure. There's no static on, so like, good enough for me.
Yeah, and then is it the news that basically is saying, yeah, like they all left overnight, so it's safe. You know, they all basically retreated.
He goes to get the TV for the kid so he can see him dancing. And then that's when you see the alien reflection in the TV holding him. And then that's when it cuts to the last flashback and shows you fucking her dying and shit. And swing away, Meryl. Tell Meryl, swing away. And then it cuts back to him and he tells Meryl, swing away. And then you're like, oh, cool. The water, the death, her dying, the baseball bat, everything, him moving in there. That's why he has asthma, he's saying, after
Yeah.
all of these things are planned by God.
Yeah, and his lungs were closed up. He'd been out of his medicine, and like when he goes out there and they finally revive him and the alien gasses him and then he comes back, it's very well written. Like I like that amount of thought going into this.
It is. It's a little goofy, but it's fun. I like it.
I mean, when you look at movies or at the time doing similar kind of stuff.
Well, he does he likes at the end of the movie for there to be some sort of interesting realizations or twists.
Yeah.
'Cause they called the twist in this is that they're water. It's less of a twist. It's just
The water
a realization.
doesn't really make sense though.
Yeah, and you forget
It's fine. I don't give a
that
shit.
the vet says he's
They're
going to
from a different planet.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't it make sense?
Because of biology and
What, human biology?
well, no, it's the chemical reactions that are necessary for water for organisms, but also
Earth organisms that you're familiar with.
yeah, but also it doesn't make sense that they didn't realize that the Earth is 70% water and that water hurts them.
Yeah, but they said they weren't here to take over the Earth. They were here to...
It
Yeah, but
doesn't
if
bother me at all.
But if it starts raining, then they're gonna die.
That's the least of my concerns with anything in this movie. Yeah, I never got that complaint. That's a complaint that's like, I don't know, just like sounds like you didn't like the movie. Have a good one.
No, I like the movie. That's just the thing that doesn't make a lot of sense.
And I think
It makes perfect sense. They're aliens. If you go to another planet and you don't, there's literally water on Earth that can kill you.
But there's water everywhere.
What's your point? Maybe it's the only planet they found that's habitable at all. They don't have an option. I just don't think
I don't know.
the water thing is a big deal. That's all.
The water thing to me, the part of the story that makes that make sense in the movie is that they realize they're not here to
Plus,
take
they had
over
already
the
left
planet.
when they realized. Like, that's
They're-
what happens. When they're hitting that, all of them have left. That one's only there because he was injured and locked in the pantry.
Yeah,
Figure out a way, and then he's
essentially
going there just to get revenge.
They
They're
left
there
because
to
it started raining.
Yeah, they're there to feed too, which at some point, okay, you can say, well, if you're going to eat people or whatever else, whatever you're looking for the people on Earth for, I see the argument there because, yeah, we all have water in our systems. We're made of mostly water, but is it the chemical reactions of other things within us, or did they really get here and realize that we didn't have the... I mean, they don't need to explain why they leave.
Yeah.
It's assumed that people figured out they couldn't like water, but they could have eaten us and, eaten a human and died and then been like, well, fuck, they're made out of water.
Well, one of them says they must have found a way to defeat them or something.
They were
Yeah.
also using hand-to-hand combat, they said. So that
Yeah.
wouldn't be much against actual military and shit if there was
Well, no, that alien's like naked, no weapons, no tools.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It'd be easy to fucking just blow a motherfucker up.
Well, I think that's another thing I really like about this movie is they don't go into like any full-scale military bullshit at all. It's just like very small and contained here.
They said they didn't want to like attack from the sky because then humans would use nuclear weapons and
would ruin everything for them. Yeah.
So
Makes sense. I mean, I enjoy this film a lot. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I just threw it on. I was like, okay, this is good. And then I watched it again when we decided we were going to talk about it.
I watch this movie probably once a year. I just love alien movies, and it's easily in my top 5.
Well, and this draws from so many other movies. Like Mel Gibson's character feels like he's straight out of From Dusk Till Dawn, right? You got this preacher that's basically got to find his way back and has given up their faith because they've lost a wife. And now they've got to basically find that faith back again to get through their situation.
Yeah.
The parallels there are pretty interesting to me. It's not like a direct for that, but that character just feels like Harvey Keitel's. So, which makes me like it even more, honestly.
Let us know what you think of Signs. What are we going to rate this? I'm going to rate it.
How many glasses of water out of 10? I'm going to give this 8 glasses of water out of 10.
I'm going to get it 10 out of 10.
Oh, shit.
Perfect, huh? I'd say 8 also.
It's borderline. It's like one of my most rewatched movies, so yeah.
There's not a lot of stuff in this movie that I thought, because I watched it twice.
It's one of those awakening movies for me when I'm 11. Like, okay, I'm starting to get into weird thrillers and alien movies and shit, like, I wouldn't call this horror, but it's definitely a thriller.
Who'd you most want to bone?
Joaquin Phoenix. He's telling me I'm wrong.
Sexy vegan right there, huh? I like that, huh? Compassionate man.
Mm-hmm. He would make sweet love to me.
I'd say the wife if the bottom half still works.
Jesus Christ, if the bottom half still works.
You need to watch Scary Movie 3 again.
Yeah, I know.
She
breaks the donut out.
Exactly. Is she split down the middle like the sandwich? No.
Look at this taco.
Jesus.
Can I get... if she's still alive, can I get 5 minutes with the bottom half? And
That's what it was.
She goes like... What? I don't understand what you're saying. He goes, let me explain. Holds up a hot dog and a donut.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen. Playing, arguably, I think Charlie Sheen's way less problematic than Mel Gibson, to be perfectly honest. He's an insane person, but he's not like Mel Gibson level of insane to me.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen just likes to party.
I would still...
Yeah, that's
I
true.
would still be like watching new Charlie Sheen movies if he's in them. And I have. Not many, but...
Mm-hmm.
I would not feel the same way about Mel Gibson.
You're not going to watch Lethal Weapon 5?
I haven't watched Lethal Weapon.
Really?
So I'm good. Huh.
They're really not that great. I watched the 4 of them, I don't know, a couple years ago maybe.
Was it like...
First time since a kid.
I have the first one on VHS just because I bought it.
Was it Lethal Weapon 4 that was like free and like one of those like...
Yes.
When you used to buy a DVD player or the PlayStation, you could get a free movie.
It came with...
They give you like the mail-off coupons.
We got that and Lost in Space and...
Oh, God.
Something else. The 90s Lost in Space, the late 90s one. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
With Joey.
Yeah. I had toys from that movie.
Fuck yeah, that's a toy. That's the new toys you need to start looking for and collecting.
They got a new Lost in Space TV show. I watched the first episode.
I've heard it was good, but I don't give a shit.
Was that the Netflix one from a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think it's Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, let us know your favorite alien movie if it's not Signs. I think this is really good because it breaks the mold of alien films.
If I'm going to say what I think is the best one, that's like the most...
Your favorite alien movie?
Yeah.
Fire in the Sky?
That would be in the top 5.
That's the scariest
My number one's
one
going to be
as far
Close Encounters. I think it's better than E.T., and that's just me, but I like it better than E.T., so I'm going to put Close Encounters, Signs.
I don't think E.T. is a good alien movie. It's just... He happens to be an alien, but it's not like a...
Fire in the Sky.
It's not like a first encounter, alien invasion.
The Arrival.
Yeah.
Contact is less of an alien movie, but
Alf?
Project Alf is a movie.
Alf, yeah.
I actually watched it again the other night. I love that shit.
It's wacky, but it's amazing. All right. Well, we will see you soon with another episode. So
subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/strangeglowvideo. Maybe we'll be putting some of these extra setup clips and some shit like that on there.
Behind the scenes and nonsense.
While we're setting up and before we're hitting the record button,
Our tinfoil hat crafts,
Yeah.
Arts and crafts.
arts and crafts. With,
Good night, everybody.
Have to return some videotapes. Have to return